Hello everyone, and today we are looking at Medal of Honor Allied Assault in 2017 as part of our look at Call of Duty World War II shooters. So why are we starting with the game from a totally different franchise then? Well, Medal of Honor Allied Assault was released in 2002. It was developed by 2015 Inc. and published by EA. Now, the lead designers of Allied Assault were Jason West and Vince Zampella, who, along with other members of 2015 Inc. team, would go on to form Infinity Ward, which of course would go on to create the Call of Duty series. It does share a lot of the design philosophies and principles with Allied Assault, so you can consider this the first game in the Call of Duty series. They are very, very similar. If you even look at things like the loading screens with the mission briefings for things, they're the exact same. The opening tutorial mission, the exact same. The structure of the missions, pretty similar. Call of Duty is a more sort of refined version of Medal of Honor Allied Assault, but you can see the DNA from Call of Duty all the way through Medal of Honor Allied Assault. So, Allied Assault was released exclusively for the PC in 2002 and has remained solely on PC since then, as there are no console ports of the game. You can get it on OS X if you own a Mac, and it is also available on Linux as well as Windows, so at least you've got your choice of operating system. So Allied Assault also can be found digitally. It's there via Origin or GOG. There's no Steam version. The versions you find there is the War Chest edition, which does include the 2 expansion packs, Spearhead and Breakthrough. So how much difficulty will you have to get this to run then? Fairly easy to get up and running, I found, on Windows 10. I was using the Origin version of the game, but I do believe the GOG version is pretty much the same. There is a small issue where if you launch the game and it crashes whenever it loads up the EA logo. Basically you get the little EA logo and it just gives you this program has stopped working. This can be resolved by starting the game again. If you look at the safe mode menu and just click start the game normally, it will start normally. The other way to fix it is you create a desktop shortcut for the game and disable the intro movie by adding, it's a little command that you add, it's plus set space CL underscore play intro space 0. Okay, that basically disables the, it will disable the intro movie and prevent the crash. It'll just boot straight into the main menu that way and it'll prevent the crash. You put it in the target line on the properties menu of the desktop shortcut in order to fix this. So to get the game running at a resolution like 1080p, you will need to modify a config file. You just add in the resolution manually. It's fairly easy to do. If you're familiar with other Quake 3 engine games, then it shouldn't really be an issue for you. The lines of code that you add to it are the exact same for Call of Duty as well. Given that they both ran the same engine, it's not really a surprise. It's fairly straightforward to do. I will put a link in the description to where I found how to change the resolution, so I'll leave that for you there. You can find Allied Assault on CD-ROM fairly easily and cheaply. I would recommend getting the War Chest version. It's available around £5 or around $5 in the US. The vanilla game will cost you around £2 in the UK and around $3 to $5 in the US. So it's fairly easy to find. The War Chest edition does include the 2 expansion packs. You might as well go for that, seeing as it's so cheap. The digital versions on Origin and GOG are the War Chest version. If you want the Origin version, if you have Origin Access, it's available via Origin Access. Just go to the Vault and download it. Alternatively, you can buy it. It's $7.99 currently on Origin, which is around $10 in the US. GOG right now it's available for £1.99 right now in the summer sale. Its regular price is £7.19. It is around $10 again for the digital versions. So really, go for the digital versions. The digital version on GOG on sale right now. It's worth a buy at that price, actually. It's fairly cheap. It's not especially rare a PC game. It's not especially well sought after these days, I would say. But, you know, it's available at a cheap price, and I would recommend pick it up on... Wait for an Origin sale as well. Origin Access is another option for you. That is the subscription service. You can just add it to your library. It's not free, you've got it subsidized, but you know, just add it there and you can play it whenever you want as long as you're subscribed to Origin Access. If you've played any Call of Duty game in the last 15 years, then you should be fairly familiar with Medal of Honor Allied Assault, and it should be fairly easy for you to pick up and play. The controls are virtually identical. The objectives are virtually identical in the games. Again, that's why I always credit this as being the first Call of Duty game. I will say, however, Call of Duty was a bit more refined in its gameplay. Medal of Honor Allied Assault does lack things like aim down the sights. Wasn't there. That was introduced in Call of Duty. That was the first game that made its appearance in Call of Duty 1. That isn't there, but the objectives are generally similar. You know, you have to go to a place, pick up something, blow something up, follow someone, etc., etc. I guess the highlight of the campaign is the D-Day mission, inspired by Saving Private Ryan. Even Steven Spielberg has a writing credit on the game. Some people say he directed the game. That's not true. He does have writing credits, though, on the game. So you've got the Saving Private Ryan inspired D-Day level, which, to be honest, doesn't hold up hugely well. I'll be honest with you and say that. It's kind of difficult to figure out where the hell the game wants you to go because it's never very clear. And there are a few bugs here and there, like when you have to snipe the Germans on the mounted guns. They don't actually appear at the mounted guns, so you have to snipe a bit away from the mounted gun, which can prove a bit difficult at first. There are a few things with the mission structure. It is quite annoying with the respawning enemies, though. This is one of those games that had so many respawning enemies. I'll give you an example. There's a mission where I went into a tent and I checked it out. There was no one in the tent. And then I went out of the tent, around the corner, got shot in the back. Someone spawned inside the tent, came out of the tent. I turn around, shoot them. Another person spawns out of the tent, shoot them. That is a Nazi spawning tent there that there was. You cleared it out and then all of a sudden they spawn. Always seem to spawn behind you, which is kind of annoying as well. I like the missions where you go solo. There's a particularly good one where you're infiltrating a Nazi sub pen, which is quite good. You have to show your ID to people and you get a guy who kept staring at me for some reason. I don't know, maybe he knew that I wasn't a real Nazi. I don't know, he just kept staring at me. I'll show you the footage of that right now. He just kept staring at me. What the hell does he want, this guy here? Other than that, I kind of like the solo missions quite good. The squad missions aren't great because your squad AI is terrible. There is one mission late in the game which is particularly horrible where you have to escort a squad through a sort of town that's covered by snipers, and these snipers, Jesus, these Nazis, they're like Terminators. My God, they can shoot you from a mile away with rapid firing sniper rifles. It is ridiculously bad, and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, maybe they are the master race or something, because they can hit me from so far away, and they just keep hitting you. Jeez, they got fucking machine sniper rifles, these guys. What the hell? I'm gonna give up and join them, maybe. You know, these guys are good. That is another criticism, is that they are way too accurate. There is a bug with the animations where it doesn't show you the firing animation, so you get shot and there's no muzzle flashes from the guns. There was muzzle flashes in the original version, but For some reason, they're not there. You'll see a guy with a gun down at his side, and you'll be getting shot by him, and the gun is still at his side. It's not up pointing it at you. So it's a bit weird, because you go around the corner and think, oh, I've got a few minutes to shoot this guy. Nope, you're getting shot at. So you sometimes take damage from that point, from that perspective. When you're not ready to take damage, it's weird because he's not shooting the gun. The sound effect for the gun goes off, but the visual effect of the gun going off and the animation for the guy shooting the gun doesn't quite work out too well. You also get dogs in the game. I hate dogs. If you hated those dogs in Modern Warfare, you'll hate them in Medal of Honor as well, but luckily you can take them out with a sniper rifle as well. These dogs are Nazi dogs, so these dogs are worse. Russian dogs or Nazi dogs, which are worse, essentially. You only play as the Americans as well. You only get an American campaign in there, so there's no other campaign like in Call of Duty. You're only an American trooper. I did really love the weapon handling. I thought they got that pretty much spot on. And you can use your American weapons. You can use your Thompson for the entire mission, as ammo is just generically discarded by enemies, so you're not stuck with a MP40 for the entire time. You always do that in Call of Duty games, at least. You start out with the Thompson, you run out of ammo, and then you end up with the MP40. Not that the machine pistol is a good gun. I mean, give the Germans credit. They knew how to make good guns. We'll give them that. The MP40 is an excellent weapon, but you know, you've only used the Thompson, really. You've always ended up with that. But you can do the whole mission with the Thompson, at least, and you can keep your American guns there. Other than that, really, the mission structure is fairly similar, fairly typical nowadays. I mean, I guess it was innovative at the time. There is the big cinematic mission, which is D-Day. It is the only real big cinematic mission. Of course, Call of Duty perfected the cinematic mission. So think of the D-Day mission as a kind of template for them to follow later on. Of course, Call of Duty 1 had Stalingrad. Call of Duty 2 did have a D-Day mission in it as well. What else did they have? Modern Warfare, you've got Charlie Don't Surf and things like that in Modern Warfare as well. Modern Warfare 2 had what was it? I can't remember what it's called. The Burger Town mission, I guess, was one of the big ones. So at least you can see the roots of the sort of big cinematic missions were there in Medal of Honor Allied Assault, and it definitely is worth checking out, as if to just see where the kind of roots. It is a little bit dated compared to Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty 1 holds up a lot better. I've been playing both at the same time, so I can do a fair comparison. So I think that COD 1 holds up fairly better than Medal of Honor Allied Assault. That being said, it was one of the most sort of innovative shooters at the time. It was one of the most well-regarded shooters, certainly, and highest rated shooters at the time, and it did deserve it at the time. I think Call of Duty came along and evolved the series, though. I think that was the big thing that COD did over Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor kind of stagnated while Call of Duty went on to become the biggest selling franchise of all time. And I think that Medal of Honor kind of stagnated, whereas COD at least moved forward. But Allied Assault was the kind of base point for both games, anyway. But anyway, I think it is worth checking out today. It's always very weird when you talk about Medal of Honor Allied Assault, because it was the beginning point for Call of Duty, and weirdly the members of 2015 Inc. Went on to work for Activision, who did want a game to rival Medal of Honor. That's why they kind of funded Infinity Ward, because they wanted a game that could rival Medal of Honor Allied Assault. So ironically, they got the developers of Medal of Honor Allied Assault, or some of the developers of Medal of Honor Allied Assault, to make them a Medal of Honor clone, which was Call of Duty. Weirdly, Medal of Honor, of course, went on to kind of stagnate and kind of just fade away, and Call of Duty went on to become one of the biggest the biggest franchise in gaming at the moment, even though slightly on the wane a little bit, but it still is by far the biggest franchise in gaming. This was the genesis, this was the beginning point, and it's always interesting to come and check it out, really, because it is worth your while checking out. It does have a few flaws and can be a bit of a pain to get running today. Ultimately, it is worth it though. If you want to check out the expansions, they're there. I won't be covering the expansions to Spearhead, and Breakthrough, they're called. We're not going to be covering them. We are going to move on to Call of Duty 1, which was released the year after Medal of Honor Allied Assault came out. Does share a lot of similarities, which is why we kind of do both of them at the same time, but we'll talk about the differences between Call of Duty and Medal of Honor Allied Assault more in that video. But anyway, that is all for this video, so thank you for joining me. I will see you again soon, and goodbye.